There we go. So here's some stuff I've been working on, some junipers and stuff that I posted some pictures on Facebook of, where I've just kind of bought stock from the nursery and then just taken all, it was just real bushy, and just taken all of the inner stuff off and just kind of left, a little bit of what's there, and we'll see how it grows in the future and whatnot. Now this is a small redwood tree with suckers that were coming off of it. And this is part of that Northern California wildfire. This thing's completely burnt. Went out to a private piece of property, somebody I know, and I took and dug this thing around the roots and then went to dig it up, and the whole thing snapped off just a couple inches below the dirt there. And the actual suckers were growing off of that main stem, but there was physically no roots whatsoever. It was just a busted off tree with some suckers coming off just a little higher. I put that in a pot, and now it's lasted for about a month now like that, so I'm pretty impressed. I actually left it wrapped in a cloth in the back of my work truck for 3 or 4 days, maybe longer, I don't know. And it dried up a couple times, and I'd water the cloth, and the cloth would dry up. But this is some sort of a dwarf mugo pine that I'm gonna mess with one of these days, but I haven't done anything with that. This thing was really bushy, I mean solid bushy, and it only came over the top of the pot, and I dug down the stem and got it down to where it actually looks like a tree, but really this was just solid growth there, and I just completely chopped it. I might have a still photo of it that I can take after I chopped it, but I don't have a before photo. Now this was about a 4-foot tall redwood tree. I chopped the top off of it, cleared off almost all of the branches. Everything died back. I do have photos of this, not before, but I have not when it was in the pot, but I have photos of it after I was done chopping it. So there's a big difference. I mean, look at all of this new growth. So I'm gonna try and make a redwood bonsai out of that. These here, this is nursery stock. So this comes just like this, and I think it might be the same breed of juniper as this, which is a horizontalis Wilton carpet juniper. They may not be the same, they don't look exactly the same, but they do kind of react the same, the way they're bending over the edge of the pot and stuff. So this was just this big, huge, completely full mess, and I have a picture of that before, and that's obviously my after. Now this guy here has got some really awesome character down in here, and I'm gonna start removing some of this stuff, and I'm gonna get them into one of these bonsai planters here. So, and this has this really neat S-shaped main beam there, and it's got another main beam here, and it wraps over the edge of the pot. It's really kind of cool the way it just wraps over the edge, and this one does the same over here. So these two I'm going to start working on. I did another video that I haven't posted yet, and of another juniper out there. I'm not even going to bother showing you that. Now these are Doug firs, and these, when I got them, were only as tall as just below the fresh bud, so right there where that brown spot is, and it was full of branches. I pulled these up by the roots. I didn't even bother digging them up. Pulled them up by the roots, completely trimmed all the branches off of the side. These were just little tiny buds left over, and it reset the buds, and it got all that little bit of new growth. So these I want to plant up at my dad's property, and they're just really cool little tiny guys, little tiny Douglas firs. They're just amazing, and these get huge. If you're from the West Coast out here, you know that these Doug firs will get every bit as tall as a redwood. When the world's tallest tree fell down a few years back, which was a redwood in that Redwood Creek Grove up there in Humboldt County, a Doug fir from Santa Cruz County took over as the world's tallest tree. Not of all time, but current. So that's all of my Doug firs there. I'm really like these Doug firs. So I'm gonna get those planted up at my dad's property, and one of those might even make its way into one of these pots as well. And we'll just see how that goes. So I'm gonna start chopping on these and get them replanted, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what they look like.